I'm joined by Paul Waitman, who is the Executive Director at Cromwell Property Group. Paul, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Sky. Good to see you.
Now, Paul, what's your feeling on the domestic office property prices?
But we're seeing a lot of upward pressure on prime core properties at the moment. There's a lot of investor interest, both domestic and onshore, in trophy assets. And that's seen a lot of upward pressure on property prices in that part of the market. The secondary part of the market still remains relatively subdued. And we're seeing a trend back in prime and core towards the average 10-year weighted average cap rate for those types of properties, whereas secondary properties are still trading on average about 80 to 100 points above the long-term 10-year average. Against all of that, we've got a softening market and declining fundamentals.
And you've just announced you've entered into an acquisition to purchase a portfolio of 7 office assets from the New South Wales Government. Why are you interested in these buildings?
These assets have very long-term cash flows, 15 years typically. We see it as a good opportunity to secure good quality long-term cash flow from buildings that we think have good upside in the medium to long term.
Okay, and you also entered an agreement to purchase 2 Brisbane office buildings. What opportunities will these properties provide you with?
Well, quite simply, I think we bought these buildings very cheaply. They're buildings that are situated on about 3,600 square metres of land in the middle of the city, more than 26,000 square metres of office area, and we receive very attractive cash returns on the properties while we wait to do something with the assets. In the first couple of years, we're deriving about a 20.5% yield on our cash, on our purchase price, and in years 3 and 4, about 9.5%. We think the assets are perfect opportunities for refurbishment and repositioning, either as potentially residential or hotel assets. And look, they'll make very good, cheap office accommodation in the event that we don't do either of those.
And lastly, what can you tell us about the earnings per share for FY13?
We're on target. I think we can say that we're certainly on target to meet the forecasts that we've made and the advice that we've given to the market.
Well, Paul, thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Scott.